Hey guys, this is Elliot Wave Sage. I want to go ahead and do a market update. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. So I was, letting everyone know on the weekend to prepare for a market bounce. If you watch my live streams and my update, pretty much got that, especially in technology. So here, like I said, it looked like we were finished a little early, but now it looks like we're in this bounce, which is great because now we have a pivot. So this is a very important low now right here that needs to hold to keep the bullish case intact. And again, as you can see, this cycle is over. So we are in a new cycle. Even on the 4 hour two, we broke, I believe, as well, as you can see. So more upside is expected in technology and really all the sectors as we bounce. And now there'll be a very important moment in terms of what comes next. So again, this bounce can fail. If it does, then the next target area will be equal distant down, so somewhere around 330. The bounce should fail around 375 if it's going to. But if what I have shown is right, what I expect is more of a squeeze and acceleration and then a complete collapse after that point. So we'll see how it goes. And like I said, always got to do what's best for you. In the SPY, the same thing hit the buy area and is now coming out. And I expect this to continue, and we may even get to the 452, 453 area. And then again, it could still fail, but it doesn't have to. Now you could see why I was a buyer. Last week I wasn't a buyer today. I had already bought. So these were good trades. And the IWM is in the same situation, and I believe this will continue higher. The Dow Jones, the same thing. It's not as strong, but I do think it's ready to come out. So I do think everything should be continuing to bounce higher. If we were to just say, do something kind of unexpected and just drop from here, well, now you have a connector for this entire move. So that would be very bearish, and it could really create a waterfall sell-off moment for the indices. Then we'd be looking at, 331, 323 on the NASDAQ. Really low numbers, but to get to those levels, you need Apple, Tesla, all the big names to really get smoked, and you just don't see that happening. But that's why it's an important pivot that has to hold. Now the trend on the SPY, it looks like we're still in the downtrend, so we could actually make a lower low in the SPY. So be careful that you don't get trapped in that. So the technology looks like it's lows in, but we could still get this surprise little dip here tomorrow. Maybe the Dow is going to be weak, and we'll see what happens. Maybe get one more low. So keep an eye on that. You're not out of the woods yet, but let's take a look at the futures and see if they give us a clue. Again, everything it's in the buy area. Let's go to the 4 hour, and again, the 4 hour trend is still, yeah, we're still in the downtrend. So again, it looks, we need to be careful. Now, what I do like is a three swing, a connector, and you see that higher high, but we need more extension higher. We should get to this area. So if we can get to that area and break that trend line, then the lows in the SPY. So I do think shorter term looks like SPY should be up in here, and then it will be up to the market to decide if it wants to make that one last low. But as it pushes higher, if we can break this downtrend line, which is probably likely, then the bottom's in. And then the Russell, the same thing. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the market right now. So we are bouncing. I believe the bounce will continue, and then it could either really accelerate higher and surprise everyone, or the bounce and failure. So it's one or the other, but we are getting that bounce now. Bitcoin's in the same situation. It can easily make one more low here for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that also indicates we could see that surprise little dip that I mentioned. In maybe technology holds its low, but the SPY and Dow make a new one. So maybe technology pulls back here in a wave two and holds that. So that's why tomorrow we could see some sell-in to finish everything out and then go from there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a dip tomorrow, and then at some point a rally out of this. Oil is still in an interesting area. It's still in this four wave. If we could push higher in five, that should finish the corrective bounce. Gold is having trouble going lower. Again, really hard to see gold drop into these levels. Could this be, again, trader games being had here, trying to stop people out to take their money before we rip it gold higher? Very possible. And then I would just tweak the count to something like this and call it finished, in some kind of A, B, C, and that would surprise a lot of market participants. Let's see where that takes gold. That will take gold to 1871, but it can easily truncate. So when this cycle ends, and if we actually look here, the 4-hour cycle has ended, so this swing is over. And so it's very interesting to see where gold's going to go in the precious metals. So this is, again, an important pivot. Could it be a 1-2 and then we totally wipe out? Anything's possible, but I do think that you got to respect this count that I have right there too. Just like it could also be, something like that. Silver actually had a really nice rally. Again, I'm showing a more conservative count here, but like gold, I can tweak it and call it finished here and just put the A, B, C there. So just be careful. This may not happen here, but we need to see a little more upside. Really want to see it get above 25 if it can do that. Bond market still strong. We're looking for this finish, finish up wave 5, and we are seeing that bearish divergence. So wave 5 should be finishing at any moment. We did make a higher high, confirming everyone's worst fears that we will get another 5 up in the long end, which should really bring the market down. So I think it's pretty likely we're going to get this correction I have shown here, that when this B is done, you're going to get this massive drop, could even make new lows, or retest them, but something to this effect, which will probably happen when the 10-year and 2-year are ready to bounce out of this correction and take that next swing higher. The only way the bears can make the market crash now is to call the correction done here, and we're already going. So that's what the bears need to see. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you're going to get that parabolic, this kind of spike higher, but you have to consider all options. If the 2-year can retake this high here, that makes it a little more likely, more bearish for the market, because then you'll have a 1-2 and you'll be coming out. That may eliminate any kind of significant upside potential the market has. Very important time. Treasuries, another instrument, because if we do pull back down like this, I mean, October 22 we pull back. So if we pull back, that should be bullish for the stock market, and then at some point we will come out of that bearish for the market. The VIX looks like it has peaked in its 3-wave corrective reaction and now is pulling back to reset it. It would have been nice to see it come up a little bit higher to get a little more capitulation. But now we have this sequence, so we are forming either a connector for this move. So we should see lower VIX, and really, if we look at the time frame, August 3rd to August 18th. So that's maybe, let's see, what is that? That's like 15 days, a couple weeks. So I think by September 2nd, this will be finished, and then you could really see that another move higher. So just keep that in mind. So you could see, and then sometime around September, early September, we're down here, and then we can get that final push up like that, and then get a bigger pullback. So it could still do something like this that I have here. So just keep that in mind, and then a bigger pullback later. And of course, there's always a possibility that the market does that and it breaks out. So when the VIX resets, we need to be careful. We need to see where the market is. This seems likely, this pattern. This seems like very likely. This seems too short. This seems more likely, but do what's best for you. All right, so that's a market overview. So I do think, going into tomorrow, we're going to see likelihood of some kind of bounce continuing, but I do think we'll see a pullback to either correct this cycle, and then the ES could actually make a new low with the Dow making a new low, but then I think that should be it. I think it's 50-50, and then the other scenario is we just continue higher. And so that's why it's really tough the shortest time frame to predict it, but it did look, pretty good that the cycle, at least in the Nasdaq, is done, which should support the markets no matter what kind of pullback we get. If the unlikely scenario we do break this low, we could really see a pretty nasty sell-off. Again, a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and you could see a dramatic sell-off. But I think to cause that kind of panic, there's some news that needs to drop that doesn't exist yet. I don't think the market is able to do that just on a technical sell-off, given how oversold we are. All right, let's just click through a couple things. Let's see commodities today. You know, Nothing really interesting. I'm not really chasing these here at these levels. Then consumer discretionary. Let's take a look. Crocs looks like it's done. It came out of our buy area. Could be a very significant low there. Also keeping an eye on Ferrari if we can get down to 295. This is something I'm looking at. Let's look at our losers. Wingstop could be in this too, as long as it's respecting this low. I'm still okay with it. If we break that low, then we're in a connector wave, and I won't like this trade setup anymore. In the connector wave, could play a game like that, and then drop. So I would leave the trade, but right now it's still valid. Then just looking across, nothing else there. Consumer staples, nothing that really interests me here. Worth mentioning, the crypto equivalent stocks, GBTC, looks like it really wants that last little push lower. It could be in a 1-2, but I think we'll go a little bit lower here. LTCN looks like it did find the bottom, and only if you were fast enough to buy it, you could got that here or had your order in. Coinbase again. So I'm looking at Coinbase. I'm looking for this fifth swing and then a drop. The other alternative, it's a 1-2-1-2, and this thing's about to moon. I do think this is the more likely count. Now, if you look at 4 and look how complicated 2 is, 4 could still extend like this, so we could still see something like that. Also, a lot of sideways action, but we'll wait and see what happens. Here, Mara, continues to be weak, but should be in an area where it's going to bounce at any moment. But I think this bounce will fail. And then Riot, the same thing, a bounce, and it should fail, but there's no guarantee. Then let's see if there's anything else interested in the ETF world. Just let's take a look at a couple ETFs. I know the leverage ones are ones that people love to trade. SOXS drop in here, finishing that cycle up. Never really made it to 12. It's early, so I do think if I look at this correction here, this looks like a connector wave, some kind of uh, something like this, and then we should get another swing up. So it also tells you the market may surprise people with another swing down. So this semiconductors is kind of a warning sign, this setup, that the market may drop another leg. So that 410 possibility. Now there is a chance this is a different count, or it's truncated, and it was just so bullish, it just truncated significantly. So there is no guarantee of that, but I'm just telling you what I think is possible. The SQQ here looks like it's done 3, so that means it's correct. It's a corrective bounce. If we could take that high out, then we have an impulse. Since we have 3 here, it could be a lot of things. I'm not too. It's not really obvious where we're heading with it yet, but it does seem like if we can drop a little more, then that corrective bounce is over. Then the TQQ was in our buy area, came out, which was good. I mentioned want, and then that was a setup for Tesla, and that worked out really well today. But you would have had to buy it when no one wanted to buy it. You can't, if you bought it today, you're probably a little too late to the game, and you have took on more risk than you needed to. So Nvidia have this X wave that should fail, and why? If we get this will be a great opportunity to finally get long Nvidia if this happens. But I mean, your guess is as good as mine where that's going. And then Tesla hit the buy area, and we're out of it. I think this will continue higher. It's yet to be seen if it will fail or not, but we should continue at least see more upside. Let's see. Again, just kind of looking at if there's anything that stands out to me that I want to talk about and mention. That one's looking pretty good. IONNQ, DraftKings. Looks like it could be done that 4. Maybe one more low. May not make it. Robinhood in that 4. We'll see if we can hold that, or if we turn into an impulse that would change everything. Unity's trying to bounce. And yeah, let's see here. Like SYM at 29. Definitely be a buyer here. And then First Solar's finally breaking down. It's been relentless, but it's still coming down. M phase still grinding lower. Let's take a look at China real quick. So China is trying to bounce here, and I said watch the erase divergence, and we did erase divergence. So this could play a game and finish early, which would support the markets going higher, like I had shown, or it can also continue X in a connector like this, which is probably what I'm thinking we'll see. But do what's best for you. If this could be the look and the setup that we're looking for. And I think that's it. We can see these are all the stocks that you guys have requested. And again, good day in technology. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah. So anyway, we'll just kind of end it here, and we will wait and see what the market decides to do. And like I said, the good thing is we did see the Nasdaq end its correction today. The bad news is we haven't seen it yet with the SPY and Dow. So we need some more follow through tomorrow. If we don't get that, those two could see a low. Technology, I think, will just correct this move and eventually go higher. And that's the setup. So I do think that's kind of where things are. I think what was unusual for me was the strength in silver today. I was not expecting that kind of strength. So that's something we want to keep an eye on, because if we start seeing that really accelerate and push higher, we could come out of this bull flag finally. As you can see, a massive bull flag, and once we come out of it, really we should be heading to somewhere around $38, maybe even touch $40. So that's what we're looking for. But I mean, at some point, this bull flag will come to an end, and we should see higher prices in silver. Okay, guys, that's all I've got today.